Dr. Lisa Carter stood in the medical bay of the Hegemony flagship, looking at patients she never thought she would treat. Supreme Commander Zalthris lay on one of the beds, his gray skin covered with the same burning sores that had killed thousands of his people. "Why are you helping me?" Zalthris asked weakly. "My people tried to destroy yours." Lisa prepared another dose of the universal cure she had developed. "Because you're sick and I can help. That's all that matters right now." Chief Security Officer Ben Hayes stood guard nearby. He was nervous about being surrounded by former enemies, but he trusted Dr. Carter completely. "Doc, how long until the cure works on them?" "About the same as with the Zephyrians. 6 hours for full recovery." Engineer Nicole Adams was working with both Zephyrian and Hegemony scientists to produce the cure faster. Her breakthrough had come from understanding that all 3 species could work together better than any one species alone. Dr. Carter were now producing enough cure for 50,000 people per hour, Nicole reported. And that number keeps going up as more people get healthy enough to help. Commander Jake Morrison was coordinating the largest medical operation in galactic history. Ships from all 3 species were carrying human doctors and alien volunteers to planets across the galaxy. "Amy, how many worlds have requested help?" Jake asked. Communications Officer Amy Turner checked her long list. 47 planets so far, Commander. And more requests are coming in every hour. War Prime Thakmer, now fully recovered and serving as military coordinator, was protecting the medical ships as they traveled between worlds. "Commander Morrison, this is something that has never happened before. Species are actually asking for help instead of trying to hide from each other." Captain Ryan Brooks was amazed by how quickly things had changed. "A week ago, we were just an exploration ship. Now we're the center of a galactic medical alliance." But the biggest change was happening in the Hegemony themselves. As more of their people were cured, they began to understand what their empire had done wrong. Supreme Commander Zalthris, now healthy and able to think clearly, spoke with Jake about the future. "Commander Morrison, my people have ruled through fear for so long that we forgot what cooperation felt like." "What will you do now?" Jake asked. "We want to change. Our new name is the Protectorate. Instead of conquering worlds, we want to protect them." "That's a big change. Your Dr. Carter showed us that strength comes from helping others, not hurting them." Lisa was training the first class of interspecies medical students. Young humans, Zephyrians, and former Hegemony citizens sat together, learning how to heal instead of harm. "The most important thing to remember," Lisa told her students, "is that every species has something valuable to teach. Humans brought curiosity and compassion. Zephyrians brought honor and courage. The Protectorate brought knowledge and resources. Together, we're stronger than we ever were apart." One of her students, a young Zephyrian named Kethel, raised his hand. "Dr. Carter, what happens when we meet species that don't want our help?" "Then we respect their choice and remain ready to help if they change their minds. We never force healing on anyone." Field medic Tony Garcia was leading a medical mission to a distant planet where a civil war had been raging for decades. Both sides had agreed to a ceasefire when they heard that the medical alliance could cure the plague that was killing their children. "You know what's amazing?" Tony said to his mixed team of human, Zephyrian, and Protectorate medics. "We're ending wars just by showing up with medicine." Public health specialist Maria Santos was working with planetary governments to set up permanent medical stations. "Commander Morrison, we're not just curing diseases anymore. We're teaching entire civilizations how to prevent them." Steve Ross, the microbiologist, had made another important discovery. "Commander, the bioweapons we've been fighting aren't the only ones out there. There are dozens of different plague weapons scattered across the galaxy. Can we cure all of them? With our 3 species working together? Yes, It will take time, but we can do it. Nicole Adams had an even bigger idea. What if we don't just cure diseases? What if we share all our technologies? Imagine what we could build together. Jake liked this idea. A galactic community based on cooperation instead of conquest. Pilot Commander Alex Turner was now training mixed squadrons of pilots from all three species. Commander, these new pilots are incredible. They're learning to fly not to fight wars, but to deliver medicine and supplies to people who need help. Amy Turner was managing communications between hundreds of planets. Commander, I'm getting reports of species that haven't talked to each other in centuries. They're starting to communicate again because they see what we've accomplished. 1 year later, Jake stood on the observation deck of the new space station that orbited Earth. It was the headquarters of the Galactic Medical Alliance, and it was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. Ships from dozens of species came and went, carrying doctors and supplies to every corner of the galaxy. Dr. Carter joined him at the window. She was now director of interspecies medicine, responsible for coordinating medical care across thousands of worlds. Do you ever think about what would have happened if we had turned around when we first detected the Zephyrian signals? Lisa asked. Sometimes, Jake said, but I think we made the right choice. Even though it was dangerous? Especially because it was dangerous. The easy choice would have been to run away. The right choice was to help. War Prime Fakmer, now serving as defense coordinator, approached them. His job was to protect medical ships and ensure that healing could happen safely. Commander Morrison, Dr. Carter, I have news. The last known bioweapon has been neutralized. The galaxy is now free of artificial plagues. Lisa smiled. What about natural diseases? Those we will fight together, as we have learned to do. Supreme. Commander Zalthris, now Director of Resources for the Medical Alliance, had transformed his former empire into the galaxy's largest humanitarian organization. My people have a saying, Zalthris said. A species that heals together prospers. Together. Jake looked out at the stars, thinking about all the worlds they had helped and all the people who were alive because a small group of humans had decided to offer medicine instead of war. You know what I think? Jake said, I think this is just the beginning. Amy Turner's voice came through the communication system. Commander Morrison, we're receiving a signal from the far edge of the galaxy. It's a distress call from a species we've never encountered before. Jake smiled. Dr. Carter, are you ready for another house call? Lisa was already preparing her medical equipment. Always. As their ship prepared to launch toward unknown space, Jake thought about how much had changed. Humanity had come to the stars expecting to find new worlds. Instead, they had found new friends. They had come as explorers and become healers. They had shown the galaxy that the strongest species wasn't the one that conquered the most planets, but the one that saved the most lives. In the medical training center, young doctors from dozens of species learned together, preparing to carry the message of healing to every corner of the universe. The galaxy would never be the same. War had been the old way. Medicine was the new way. And humanity had shown everyone the difference between power and strength. Power was the ability to destroy, but strength was the courage to heal. The stars were calling, and the healers were ready to answer. The space battle began at dawn on the Zephyrian homeworld. Commander Jake Morrison watched from the bridge as 20 hegemony warships moved toward them like hungry predators. His single ship looked very small against such a large enemy force. All stations battle ready, Jake ordered, but something unexpected happened. War Prime Fakmer's voice came through the communication system. Human friends, you will not fight alone. On the viewing screen, Jake saw Zephyrian ships moving to protect the UES horizon. The alien vessels were old and damaged, and their crews were still sick, but they formed a defensive wall around the human medical ship. "Thakmer, your people are too weak to fight," Jake said. "We are weak, but we are not helpless. You risked everything to save us. Now we fight to save you." Captain Ryan Brooks couldn't believe what he was seeing. "Sir, they're protecting us instead of themselves." It was the first time in galactic history that Zephyrians had fought to defend another species instead of conquering them. Pilot Commander Alex Turner, Amy's older brother, was leading a small squadron of human fighters. He had an idea that could change everything. "Commander Morrison, request permission to try something new," Alex said through his radio. "What do you have in mind? What if we combine our technology with theirs? Human targeting systems with Zephyrian energy weapons?" Nicole Adams was listening from the engineering deck. "It might work. Our computers are faster, but their weapons are more powerful." "Do it," Jake ordered. For the next hour, human and Zephyrian engineers worked together to modify their ships. It was dangerous work with enemy ships approaching, but they managed to create something new, hybrid fighters that could hit harder and more accurately than either species could alone. Meanwhile, on the planet below, Dr. Lisa Carter was fighting her own battle. She had set up medical stations across the Zephyrian capital city, working to cure as many people as possible before the fighting made it impossible. Field medic Tony Garcia was a tough soldier who had volunteered to help with the medical mission. He ran between treatment stations, carrying supplies and helping move patients. "Doc, we've got a problem," Tony said, running up to Lisa. "The hegemony is dropping disease bombs on the other cities." Lisa felt sick. "Disease bombs?" "Yeah, they're spreading new sicknesses to kill anyone we haven't cured yet." Public health specialist Maria Santos was coordinating with Zephyrian civilian leaders to organize the cure distribution. She was a smart woman who understood how to move resources quickly during emergencies. "Dr. Carter, we need to change our plan," Maria said. "Instead of treating people in fixed locations, we need mobile treatment teams. Can we do that? The Zephyrians who are already cured can help. They know their cities better than we do." Lisa made a quick decision. "Do it. Split into small teams and spread out. Cure as many as you can before the disease bombs take effect." In space above them, the battle was getting intense. The hegemony ships were bigger and more powerful, but the human Zephyrian alliance was proving to be surprisingly effective. Alex Turner flew his hybrid fighter through a group of enemy ships, his human targeting computer helping him hit targets that Zephyrian pilots had missed for years. Behind him, Zephyrian pilots used their new weapons to destroy hegemony fighters. "This is amazing," Alex said over the radio. "Our technologies work great together." War Prime Thakmer was flying his own ship despite his illness. "Commander Morrison, the enemy is falling back." Jake was surprised. Already? They expected weak, divided opponents. They found strong, united ones. But the celebration was too early. Amy Turner picked up new signals from deep space. "Commander, more hegemony ships are coming. At least 50 this time." Jake's heart sank. They had barely defeated 20 ships. 50 would be impossible. Then something strange happened. A new voice came through the communication system. It was different from the first hegemony commander. Older, more tired. "Human vessel, this is Supreme Commander Zalthris of the Hegemony Fleet. I request a ceasefire." Jake was suspicious. "Why?" There was a long pause. "Because my people are dying too." "What do you mean?" "The bioweapons we created. ... They have changed. They now affect us as well. My fleet is infected with a disease we cannot cure." Dr. Carter heard this from the medical station and asked to speak to the hegemony commander. "Supreme Commander, this is Dr. Lisa Carter. What are your symptoms? Why do you care, human?" "Because I'm a doctor. Helping sick people is what I do." Another long pause. Our skin burns. Our breathing is difficult. Many of my crew have already died. Lisa looked at her disease samples. Commander Morrison, I think the bioweapon has mutated. It's now attacking its creators. Steve Ross, who is still studying the alien diseases, confirmed her suspicion. The weapon was designed to evolve and spread. It couldn't tell the difference between Zephyrians and Hegemony. Supreme Commander. Zolthrus spoke again, and his voice sounded desperate. Dr. Carter, could your medicine help us? War Prime Fakmer was listening to this conversation. He spoke with anger. They tried to kill us all. Let them die. But Leza had a different idea. Commander Morrison, what if we could cure everyone? You mean help the Hegemony too? Yes. If we can cure their disease, maybe they'll stop trying to destroy other species. Jake thought about this. It was risky to trust the Hegemony, but it might be the only way to stop the cycle of violence. Supreme Commander Zolthrus, if we help cure your people, will you stop attacking innocent species? You would help us? After we tried to destroy. You? That's what humans do. We help people who need help. There was silence for a long time. Then, Dr. Carter, what do you need? Medical data about your species. And a promise that you'll work with us to cure everyone. You have both. Takmer was not happy about this decision. Commander Morrison, the Hegemony has killed millions of beings across the galaxy. They deserve to suffer. Maybe, Jake said. But if we let them die, who does that make us? Lisa was already preparing to extend her cure to work on Hegemony biology. Nicole Adams was figuring out how to mass-produce medicine for 3 different species at once. On the planet below, something beautiful was happening. Zephyrian civilians who had been cured were working alongside human medics to help their neighbors. Children who had been dying were now playing in the streets. Families were reunited as the sickness left their communities. Tony Garcia watched. A young Zephyrian mother hugged her son who had just been cured. You know what, Doc? This is why we do this job. Maria Santos was coordinating the delivery of medicine to remote areas. We're actually winning, she said with amazement. We're beating a galactic plague. In space, the 2 fleets, human, Zephyrian, and Hegemony, waited in an uneasy peace while Dr. Carter worked to save them all. Alex Turner flew his fighter between the 3 different types of ships. You know what's weird? A few days ago, we didn't even know aliens existed. Now we're all working together. Jake smiled. Sometimes the universe moves fast. Amy Turner was monitoring communications between all 3 species. Commander, I'm picking up something interesting. Other species across the galaxy are hearing about what we're doing. They want to know if we can help them too. Jake realized that this was bigger than just one planet or one species. Word was spreading across the galaxy that someone was finally fighting the diseases and death that had controlled civilizations for centuries. Amy, send a message to anyone who's listening. Tell them that help is coming. What should I say exactly? Jake thought for a moment. Tell them that humans believe every species deserves to live free from disease and fear. And tell them we're just getting started. The cure was working. The alliance was holding. And for the first time in galactic history, 3 different species were working together instead of fighting each other. But the real test was still coming. Could they trust each other enough to build something better than the galaxy had ever seen before? Dr. Lisa Carter had never worked so hard in her life. For 3 days straight, she barely slept or ate. Her medical lab on the UES horizon had become a busy place where humans and aliens worked side by side for the first time in history. Mordain was the Zephyrian healer scientist who came to help. He was older than the other aliens, with white markings around his large eyes. At first, he was suspicious of human medicine. But when he saw how Lisa had helped Veltar, he began to trust her. Your medicine is strange. Mordain said through the translator. But it works in ways ours does not. Lisa looked at the alien disease samples under her microscope. Your people's sickness is not natural. Someone made this. Made it? You mean as a weapon? Yes. Look at these patterns in the disease. They're too perfect, too designed. This is a bioweapon. Mordain's face showed anger and sadness. Who would do such a thing? Steve Ross, the ship's microbiologist, had been studying the disease for hours. He was a quiet man who loved solving puzzles, and this was the biggest puzzle of his career. Dr. Carter, I think I know who made this, Steve said. The disease has markers that match weapons we've seen before. There's another species out there that uses bioweapons to control other races. What species? Mordain asked. We call them the hegemony. They're the ones who rule most of this part of the galaxy. Mordain made a sound like a growl. The hegemony. Yes, we know them. They came to our world 50 years ago. They said they wanted to trade, but they left quickly. That's when they infected your people, Lisa said. This disease was designed to activate years later, when they were far away and couldn't be blamed. But why? Steve answered. Because healthy species fight back. Sick ones are easier to control. Nicole Adams, the ship's engineer, had been working to modify human medical equipment so it could treat alien biology. She was young and smart, always finding new ways to make things work better. Dr. Carter, I've got the treatment machines ready, Nicole said. We can now produce medicine that will work for Zephyrian biology. How much can we make? Enough for maybe 1,000 people per day. But there are millions of Zephyrians on the planet below. Lisa felt her heart sink. Even if they could cure the disease, they couldn't make enough medicine fast enough to save everyone. Amy Turner, the communications officer, suddenly looked up from her station with a worried expression. Commander Morrison, we have a problem. Jake came over to her. What is it? I'm picking up new signals. Ships are coming toward this system. A lot of ships. Zephyrian ships? No, sir. The signatures are different. I think it's the hegemony. The room went quiet. Everyone understood what this meant. The hegemony was coming to finish what they had started. They would destroy both the humans and the Zephyrians to keep their secret safe. Captain Ryan Brooks joined the group. How long do we have? Maybe 2 days, Ami said. Jake looked at Lisa. Can you finish the cure in 2 days? I can make a cure, but we need time to produce enough for everyone. And we need time to distribute it across the planet. Mordain spoke up. War Prime Thicmer will want to fight the hegemony. It is our way. Your people are too sick to fight, Ryan said. Then we will die with honor. Lisa grabbed Mordain's arm. No, there has to be another way. Jake was thinking fast. As commander, he had to make impossible choices. He could order his ship to leave and save his crew. Or he could stay and help the Zephyrians, but risk a war with the powerful hegemony. How many hegemony ships are coming? Jake asked. Amy checked her readings. At least 20, maybe more. And we have one ship. Yes, sir. Jake made his decision. We stay? Sir? Ryan looked surprised. We came here to explore and make friends. The Zephyrians need our help, and we're going to give it to them. Commander, Dr. Carter said, I need more time to make enough medicine. Then we'll buy you time. Nicole Adams had an idea. What if we share our technology with the Zephyrians? Help them fix their ships and weapons? Can we do that safely? Jake asked. Human and Zephyrian technology work differently, but I think I can make them work together. Steve Ross was still studying the bioweapon. Commander, I found something else. The hegemony ships are probably carrying more bioweapons. If they can't control a species, they destroy it completely. More reason to stop them. Jake said. Lisa was working frantically to perfect the cure. The basic medicine worked, but she needed to make it stronger and faster acting. Corinne Bell helped her test different combinations of human and Zephyrian medicines. This might work, Lisa said, looking at her latest test results. But I need to try it on more patients first. I volunteer, Mordain said. You're not sick, but my people are. Test it on me first to make sure it's safe. Lisa admired his courage, but she had a better idea. What about the patients we already treated? If we can make them completely healthy, they can help us treat others. For the next day, the UES Horizon became the center of the most important medical work in galactic history. Lisa and her team perfected the cure while Nicole helped Zephyrian engineers prepare their ships for battle. War Prime Thegmer came aboard the human ship to meet with Jake. The alien warrior looked much better after receiving human medicine, but he was still weak. Commander Morrison, why do your people risk so much for strangers? Thegmer asked. Because it's the right thing to do, Jake said simply. In our experience, species only help others when they want something in return. Ben, you haven't met the right species yet. Thegmer was quiet for a moment. If we survive this, my people will remember what humans did for us. Let's focus on surviving first, Amy Turner interrupted them. Commander, the Hegemony fleet just entered the system. They're demanding we surrender immediately. Jake looked at Thegmer. Are your people ready? The healthy ones are preparing our ships, but we are still very weak. Then we'll have to be smart instead of strong. Dr. Carter came onto the bridge, carrying a small vial of clear liquid. Commander, I think we've done it. This is the cure. How sure are you? 90%. It should work on any Zephyrian, and it works fast. How fast? Full recovery in about 6 hours. Jake smiled for the first time in days. Nicole, how quickly can we make this cure? With both human and Zephyrian equipment working together, we can make enough for 10,000 people per hour. That's still not enough, Thegmer said sadly. It's enough to start, Jake said. We cure the healthy ones first, and they help us cure the others. Like a chain reaction. Lisa understood. The cured Zephyrians become our medical assistants. Each one can help treat more patients. Exactly. But first, we need to deal with the Hegemony fleet. Amy looked up from her station again. Commander, I'm getting a message from the Hegemony. They want to talk. Put them through. A new voice came through the speakers. It sounded cold and threatening. Human vessel, you are interfering with Hegemony operations. Leave immediately, or be destroyed. Jake activated the communication system. This is Commander Morrison of the United Earthship Horizon. We are providing medical assistance to a dying species. We have no hostile intentions. Medical assistance is forbidden. The Zephyrians have been designated for elimination. By whose authority? By the authority of Galactic Order. Weak species must be removed so strong ones can prosper. Jake looked around his bridge. His crew was ready to fight, even though they were outnumbered. The Zephyrians were preparing their remaining ships, even though they were still sick. I reject your authority, Jake said calmly, and I reject your idea of Galactic Order. Then you will die with them. The communication ended. In space around them, 20 Hegemony warships moved into attack position. On the planet below, millions of sick Zephyrians waited to see if they would live or die at the first battle for a new kind of galaxy was about to begin. On one side, an empire that ruled through fear and death. On the other, a small group of humans and aliens who believed that helping others was worth fighting for. Dr. Lisa Carter checked her medical bag one more time. She had packed everything she could think of: bandages, medicines, diagnostic tools, and emergency supplies. Beside her, Nurse Peter Walsh loaded portable medical equipment onto the small shuttle. Behind them, biochemist Karen Bell carried samples of human medicines that might help alien biology. "Are you sure about this, Doc?" Peter asked. He was young and nervous, but he had volunteered to come anyway. "No," Lisa said honestly, "but we have to try." Security Chief Dan Phillips walked up to them. He was a big man with strong arms and a serious face. "I'm coming with you," he said. Lisa shook her head. "No weapons, Dan. I told you already. I don't need weapons to protect you. You don't understand. If we bring any kind of security, they'll think we're lying about being doctors. Leave your weapons here." Dan looked uncomfortable. His job was to keep the crew safe, and sending the ship's doctor to an alien vessel with no protection felt wrong. But he nodded and removed his gun, his knife, and even his stun device. Commander Morrison came to see them off. "Remember, you're not just representing our ship. You're representing all of humanity." "No pressure," Karen said with a nervous laugh. Lisa looked at Jake seriously. "If something goes wrong, don't come after us. These aliens are dying and scared. They might do something desperate. I'm not leaving you there. Promise me, Jake. If we fail, Earth needs to know that we tried peace first." Jake didn't want to promise, but he nodded. Doc, the shuttle left the U.E.'s horizon and flew toward the alien ship. It was huge, 3 times bigger than their vessel, with strange curves and metal that looked like it could change shape. Weapon ports covered its surface like angry eyes. "They're scanning us," Peter said, watching his instruments. "Let them," Lisa replied. "They need to see we're telling the truth." The alien ship opened a bay door, and their shuttle flew inside. The door closed behind them with a sound like thunder. They were trapped now, completely at the mercy of beings they had never seen. The bay was dark and filled with strange air. Lisa's equipment showed it was safe for humans to breathe, but it smelled like metal and something else she couldn't identify. Lights came on suddenly, and they saw aliens for the first time. They were tall, about 8 feet high, with gray skin that had dark spots all over it. Their faces were long with large eyes and small mouths. But what shocked Lisa most was how sick they looked. The spots on their skin were not natural markings. They were sores. The aliens were struggling to breathe, and some were shaking with fever. One alien stepped forward. He was bigger than the others and wore what looked like military clothes. When he spoke, a computer voice translated his words. "I am War Prime Thekmer. You claim to be healers. Prove it or die." Lisa stepped forward slowly, her hands empty and visible. "I am Dr. Lisa Carter. We are here to help." "Help?" Thekmer laughed, but it turned into a cough. "No species helps another. All come to conquer or steal. We're different," Lisa said simply. "Words mean nothing. Show me." Lisa looked around at the aliens. They were all sick, all suffering. Some looked like they might collapse at any moment. "May I examine one of your people?" Thekmer's large eyes narrowed. "Why?" "So I can understand your sickness and try to help." The aliens talked among themselves in their own language. Lisa caught some of it through the translator. They were arguing about whether to trust her or kill her immediately. A young alien suddenly fell to the ground. His breathing was fast and shallow, and the sores on his skin were bleeding. The other alien stepped back, afraid. Lisa didn't think. She ran to the fallen alien and knelt beside him. "Peter, bring the medical kit." "Doc, we don't know if it's safe," Peter warned. "He's dying," Lisa said. She put her hands on the alien's chest and felt his heartbeat. It was too fast and irregular. "Karen, I need the fever medicine and the breathing assist." The aliens around them raised their weapons, thinking this might be an attack. But Thekmer held up his hand to stop them. He watched as Lisa worked to save his warrior. Lisa gave the alien medicine to slow his heart and help his breathing. She cleaned his sores and covered them with healing gel. She worked for an hour, using everything she knew about medicine and biology. Slowly, the young alien's breathing became easier. His fever dropped. The bleeding stopped. He opened his eyes and looked at Lisa with confusion. "Sub-Commander Veltar," Thakmer said quietly. The young alien tried to sit up. Lisa helped him, supporting his weight. Veltar looked at her strange face and said something in his language. What did he say? Lisa asked. Thakmer was quiet for a long moment. He said, "He thought he was dying. He asked if you are an angel." Lisa smiled. "Tell him I'm just a doctor." The other aliens were staring. They had watched a strange creature from another world save one of their own, asking for nothing in return. Some lowered their weapons. "Why?" Thakmer asked. "Why what?" "Why save him? He is not your species. You gain nothing." Lisa looked around at all the sick aliens. "Because he was hurt, and I could help. That's what doctors do. Even for enemies? You're not our enemies. You're just afraid." Thakmer was quiet for a long time. The other aliens waited for his decision. Lisa continued to monitor Veltar's condition, giving him small doses of medicine to keep him stable. "In our history," Thakmer finally said, "when a strong species meets a weak one, the strong one takes what it wants. Always." "Then you've never met humans before," Lisa said. "What do humans want?" Lisa thought about it. "To explore, to learn, to help when we can, and right now, we want to help you get better. Our sickness has no cure. Our best healers have tried everything. Maybe our medicine is different. Maybe together we can find something that works." Peter and Karen had been quiet, watching the conversation. Now Peter spoke up. "Doc, his vital signs are stabilizing. Whatever you gave him is working." The aliens heard this and began talking excitedly among themselves. Hope was something they hadn't felt in a long time. Thakmer made a decision that surprised everyone, including his own warriors. "Dr. Carter, if you can heal our people, we will give you anything you ask for." "I don't want anything," Lisa said. "Just the chance to try. What do you need?" "Medical information about your species, samples of the disease, and time to work." "And if you fail?" Lisa looked him in the eyes. "Then at least we tried, but I don't plan to fail." Thakmer nodded slowly. "You may return to your ship and bring whatever you need. We will not attack you. Thank you." As they prepared to leave, Veltar grabbed Lisa's hand. He spoke in his language, and the translator said, "Thank you for showing us that not all visitors come with swords." Lisa smiled and patted his hand. "Some of us come with stethoscopes instead." The shuttle flew back to the U.E.'s horizon, carrying something precious, the first seeds of trust between two species. Lisa immediately began preparing for the biggest medical challenge of her life. She didn't know if human medicine could save an alien race, but she was going to try. On the alien ship, Thakmer watched the human shuttle disappear. For the first time in months, he felt something he had almost forgotten: hope. Maybe these humans really were different. Maybe, just maybe, his people would live to see another day. Commander Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the U.E.'s horizon and looked out at the stars. His ship was 3 months away from Earth, traveling deeper into space than any human had gone before. The crew of 200 people had one job: find new worlds and see if anyone else lived among the stars. Jake was tired. The long journey had been quiet, with nothing but empty space and distant suns. His crew was getting restless. Some wanted to turn back home. Others wanted to keep going, into the unknown. Jake knew they needed to find something soon, or the mission would fail. "Commander, I'm getting something strange," said Amy Turner from her station. She was the ship's communications officer, a young woman with sharp eyes and quick fingers. She had been listening to space for weeks, hoping to hear anything that wasn't just star noise. Jake walked over to her station. What kind of strange? Amy put her hands on her headphones and closed her eyes. It's not natural. Someone is sending signals. They're coming from the fourth planet in this system. The bridge went quiet. Everyone stopped what they were doing. After months of empty space, they had finally found proof that humans were not alone. Are you sure? Jake asked. Yes, sir. The patterns are too regular to be natural. Someone made these signals. Dr. Lisa Carter looked up from her medical station. She was the ship's chief doctor, a calm woman who rarely got excited about anything. But now her face showed interest. What do the signals say? I don't know yet, Amy said. The language is completely different from anything we know. But I can tell they're repeating the same messages over and over. Captain Ryan Brooks, Jake's second in command, came to the communications station. Ryan was older than Jake, with gray hair and worried eyes. He had fought in Earth's last war and knew how dangerous first contact could be. Could be a trap, Ryan said quietly. Maybe they know we're here. Or maybe they need help, Dr. Carter said. Jake thought for a moment. This was the choice he had been preparing for since the mission started. Earth's leaders had given him clear orders. Be careful, learn what you can, but don't take big risks. The safety of his crew came first. Amy, can you figure out what they're saying? Give me some time. The computer is working on it now. Jake nodded. Everyone else, keep doing your jobs. But stay ready for anything. For the next 6 hours, Amy worked with the ship's computer to decode the alien signals. Jake stayed on the bridge, drinking coffee and watching the planet get larger on the main screen. It was a blue-green world with white clouds, not so different from Earth. Dr. Carter brought her medical equipment to the bridge. Commander, I want to scan those signals. Sometimes you can learn about a species from how they transmit information. Do it, Jake said. Lisa connected her medical scanners to the communication system. What she found made her face go pale. Commander, these beings are sick. Very sick. How can you tell? Their biological signatures are in the signals. It's like they're broadcasting their vital signs without knowing it. Whatever is wrong with them, it's killing them. Amy suddenly looked up from her station. I've got some of it figured out. These aren't normal communications. They're military orders. The bridge got quiet again. What kind of orders? Ryan asked. Battle formations, weapon deployments. It looks like they're preparing for war. Jake felt his stomach drop. War with who? I think with us, Amy said. Some of these messages talk about sky visitors and star invaders. They know something is coming. Dr. Carter looked at her medical readings again. Commander, they're dying. Whatever disease they have, it's spread across their whole world. These military preparations might be their last act as a species. Jake looked around the bridge. His crew was waiting for orders. He could turn the ship around and go home. That would be the safe choice. Earth would understand. Or he could move closer and try to make contact with a dying alien race that thought he was their enemy. Amy, can we send them a message? Yes, sir, but I don't know if they'll understand it. Dr. Carter, is there anything we can do about their sickness? Lisa looked at her readings. Maybe. I'd need to know more about their biology. But Commander, human medicine has come a long way. We might be able to help them. Ryan stepped closer to Jake. Sir, this could be very dangerous. We don't know anything about these aliens. They could have weapons we've never seen. Jake nodded. You're right. But they're dying, Ryan, and they think we're here to hurt them. What if we could show them something different? What do you mean? What if instead of showing them our weapons, we showed them our medicine? Dr. Carter's eyes lit up. We could. Transmit medical data. Show them we're doctors, not soldiers. Amy was already working at her station. I can send basic mathematical concepts first. Show them we're intelligent and peaceful. Jake made his decision. Do it. Send them math, then send them medical information. Show them we want to help, not fight. Sir, Ryan said, what if they don't believe us? Then we'll have to prove it. Amy sent the first message. Simple mathematics that any intelligent species would understand. The alien responses came back quickly, showing they understood. Then she sent medical diagrams and data about human healing techniques. For 2 hours, they waited. The alien signals stopped completely. Then, a new message came. Through. Amy's computer translated it slowly. One ship may approach. Any weapons and you die. Any tricks and you die. Come to heal, or do not come at all. Jake looked at his crew. They're giving us a chance. A very small chance, Ryan said. Dr. Carter was already packing her medical equipment. It's more than they've probably given anyone else. Jake made the call that would change everything. Amy, tell them we're coming. One medical ship, no weapons. Dr. Carter, pick your team. We're going to try something that's never been done before. What's that, sir? Amy asked. We're going to show the galaxy that humans don't come as conquerors. We come as healers. U's Horizon moved toward the alien world, carrying with it the hopes of two species who had never met. One was dying and expected war. The other brought medicine and mercy. Neither knew how this meeting would change the galaxy forever.